So basically where we last left off in episode 19, and this is now episode 20, Revelation, we left off with Lila basically just standing in front of the Gabriel mansion. Now, I'm gonna say this, and I watched both versions, both the English and the first release of the dub, basically. I don't know, I would say it's in French, but it could be in Portuguese, which people tell me it could have been, so it's a bit weird on that sense, but I'm gonna tell you guys right now, I used to I kind of tolerate this episode, like, okay, it's okay, right? But rewatching this episode, I think this is maybe the only, well, okay, maybe not the only episode. I would also say that the baby episode, you know, the one with the giant baby in like season 1, yeah, I really hate that episode. This episode basically kind of tests my patience on one certain character. We do start off with the morning being the typical Lila thing. Lila kind of lies her way through almost everything from, like, I guess I think she has 2 mothers, I think. I really don't really remember this part of the scene that much because it's kind of been obsolete. But this is her mother. I'm guessing she technically has 2 mothers, possibly. But after hopping off from a call that saying that she was in the savannah, she basically told her mother, who is actually, you know, mute and deaf, possibly. It could be both. I'm not complaining. I really just don't know because we never actually saw her mother for that long. I don't remember who was actually talking, to be honest, from before. I feel like I saw her model before, I think like in the previous 2 seasons, but maybe it was just a nanny or something. I really don't know. Yeah, sign language, and Lila does know sign language, which, okay, I mean like it makes sense because, you know, her mother uses sign language, but she also talks, so we know what she's saying. Now, I think that's a good idea, but it would have been more mysterious if they used just sign languaging. But of course, through sign language, Lila also lied again that she has to leave for, you know, Mexico to do a film. Jeez, the lie is just you know, Lila who lies. It makes sense because it's her name. It's a very smart thing. It's just that, yeah, it was a bit on the nose when this episode shows you that. So yeah. So Lila goes to art class, at least on her way to art class, with everybody looking at the Alliance using her picture, her face on the Alliance, because I guess, you know, they chose her over Adrian, you know. I guess it makes sense. There's 2 people they could choose from, and Lila was basically pretty popular. Everybody who saw Lila basically treats her with the status of like a celebrity, basically. Like, she has like people like, oh, can I have your autograph, or can I have a selfie with you, or like, you know, you can ride on this bus for free. It was until the art class where basically like the news broke out that Kagami is replacing Lila as being one of the poster childs of the Alliance. Everybody was kind of confused. Lila, of course, lied her way out, saying that she basically kind of quitted the job so she can spend more time with her friends, basically. There is more details on this scene, but I'm just gonna give you the quick scope because, oh jeez, there's not really that much to talk about, honestly, for this episode. I think this is the reason why I hate this episode. It's this kind of part of the character, but it's only because like there's nothing really happening in the first few minutes of this episode. We do go back to basically the part where Lila basically was in front of the Gabriel Gress Manor, so that technically speaking, that was a flashback, to say the least, and this is why she was here. Now, Gabriel just replaces her with Kagami. The reason why is because Kagami could, you know, keep Adrian in line because of his promise to her mother. As for Lila, she failed him on keeping Marinette away from Adrian, so makes sense. Lila is angry, and while it is tempting for Gabriel finally at this point was smart enough not to go into another person's anger so recklessly, because the last time that happened was through a robot, and when that robot basically overthrown Hawk Moth in the past. I think that's like an episode. I think it's like an episode from season 2, possibly the one with the little robot guy. I kind of forgot. You know, Max's friend. I really forgot his name. Max. That's not even Max anyway. That's the guy. That's the kid with the glasses. Oh god, I don't remember. But at least now Gabriel here learns his lesson. So yeah, he's not going to fall for it because the anger that Lila has is towards Gabriel. So he's smart, thankfully. Everybody in the school sees the two poster childs, Adrian and Kagami, together, and Gabriel is basically, you know, marketing them as a couple with, you know, Adrian and Marinette walking towards the stairs, or at least to their class. Marinette tells Adrian, does she know about this? And Adrian says no, meaning that Gabriel basically did this without his permission. But technically speaking, Adrian already said this, and he has no part in this business, so it makes sense that Gabriel doesn't really talk to him. But then again, with moving out from the business perspective, as a family perspective, this is a very dick move from Gabriel. In this scene, basically, I'll just give you the very simplest of rundowns. Chloe basically cheated on her homework with Sabrina. Sabrina will get a full, correct grade for her, but Chloe would have to have basically an F on it, and basically, hopefully, gets more help. Marinette basically stands up for basically, to just tell the teacher that Chloe basically never actually wants to do this because she's very privileged, and to be honest, she's not wrong. And then this is where it kind of got spiraled out of control, and why I kind of hate this episode. This is where the conflict basically does not to be needed, but it technically has to be said finally. Somebody finally says that Chloe doesn't really care about being an actual good person at this point. And, well, good person in terms of school. Chloe even agrees, basically, that she doesn't have time and she thinks school is just worthless. And to be honest, I feel like most of us at this point in time would kind of agree. But at the same time, school is important for basically the basics of learning, and then maybe some more stuff when you want to grow up and do some stuff. Unfortunately, Chloe is not like that. She is privileged, she is rich, you know, that's all the stuff. And they're kind of arguing about this. But this is where the one thing I think is kind of being a bit... the conflict was not really that needed. Where later on, Marinette basically, you know, just tells on the teacher, just shows that the teacher was basically, like herself, tells the teacher that she was being too nice to Chloe, and that kind of shocked her. And yeah, that's true, and even Chloe kind of admits this. This is kind of sad because the teacher was a very nice person. I don't know why Marinette kind of snapped at this, but to be honest, think about it. We all saw Marinette and Chloe's backstory at the very least, and we know Chloe's just a massive bully and basically using her privileges to basically get what she wants. Everybody knows this, all the teacher knows this, and they want to escape, but they don't know how to stand up for themselves. While Marinette does stand up for everybody here, basically, even for the higher authorities, unfortunately, she is a bit too blunt. I think she could have said something else from here, but she is basically losing a lot of, I guess, respect for basically almost everyone here. Lila basically sees this opportunity and tries to win everybody's favor back by saying that she could fix her. Ah, get it? Ha 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 ha. No, I'm just kidding. But also not really, because, you know, Lila thinks that she could actually help and fix Chloe, but in reality, as a quote-unquote friend of Chloe's, even though Chloe doesn't really think of Lila as a friend, if you see the previous episodes, that actually would make sense why Lila and Chloe were actually closer together. Lila basically tries to sneakily just manipulate her way into a situation where she could run for class president and then help Chloe, but in reality she just wants to be the leader for her plan afterwards, basically. What is her plan? We'll see that later in the episode, but for right now she kind of just manipulates her way, and like everybody kind of believes her. But at the same time, I don't remember the specifics, but there was just dialogue that basically makes almost everybody here bad, basically. And what's worse is that the teacher was just not listening. even the teacher admits herself that she was not listening to this whole conversation between Lila and Marinette because she was just shocked that Chloe was just a bad student. However, later they'll say like, you know, here, okay, we're gonna do another vote for class rep because, you know, Lila wants to do it. So like give the speech and stuff like that, right? And then like Lila steps up and then chooses Chloe to be deputy. And then everybody's just kind of shocked that there's no way Chloe will be deputy, right? Unfortunately, that's kind of to be the case. But you can see that Chloe just has a very painful smile on her face. Very sad. Later, Marinette actually does go up. Marinette says is that everyone, even Ladybug, even everyone in the classroom, even all the teachers lend a hand to help Chloe be a better person. Unfortunately, Chloe never changes. So she says something that it is true and it is relatable, but in this current situation, I think she didn't read the room correctly, that her situation isn't as profound as in her favor as it's supposed to be. Later she says that Chloe really doesn't need any help, and it's better for Marinette to actually help everybody else who needs it instead of a person who refuses to accept it. Unfortunately, as a class representative, you can't really do that. Now, if you were a friend and you want to help people, that makes sense. But as a class representative, you have the responsibility to take care of others, even if they refuse your help at some points. Or at least, like, you know, I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain. I mean, I was class rep once, and I think whoever was class rep before would actually understand the situation. Unfortunately, Marinette did the wrong thing here and just outright states that Chloe does not need help anymore because in the past she doesn't really accept help. Because it doesn't hurt to try, you know. After that, the speeches were over, and before the teacher says that they're going to do a vote, Lila just kind of cries out and says the actual truth for once. But she says the truth to manipulate more people. At this point, her name should have been more of a pun on manipulation instead of lying, but like, you know, it is what it is. Sometimes saying the truth can also you basically just go to manipulation as well, to go in your favor. It depends on the context, basically. I did forget to mention that there was, before all that there was a cafeteria scene. All you need to know is that Nino and Aya basically is the representation of everybody, kind of just believing Lila. Marinette doesn't trust. Everybody's like, Marinette, you should like trust Lila because, you know, she was pretty good, and if she want to change Chloe, you can see that. Adrian already knows the truth, but unfortunately when he says the truth, it was basically too late because at this point Adrian is with Marinette, therefore they think that Adrian was just being a very good boyfriend on supporting her girlfriend. Yeah, Adrian, you're a bit late on that, buddy. And that's all I gotta say in the cafeteria scene. And this scene was actually pretty long. So at this point, Lila gone to the bathroom basically makes her very angry, so like Monarch cannot resist it. Unfortunately, Monarch does know that it was Lila again, but thankfully for him, Lila's anger is not towards him anymore, but to Marinette, because for obvious reasons. I shouldn't say more. Okay, I know, horrible screenshot here, but basically what Monarch gave Lila is the ability to basically conjure up any lie and it will become the absolute truth. Very simple, you know. I think he could have done this earlier, but you know, we need more power, I guess. But Lila also basically gets the power of illusion, and what we get is basically we got an updated version of her suit. I think this is more an upgrade of her suit, and the references for this one is like, yeah, this is what she would look. This is like basically based off the clothes that she has as a Kumatais before in season 1, but we got a little more upgrades. It is now more of crimson red, but also has that orange mix into it, so like referencing the part where she kind of got that power, a Kumatais power up from the quote-unquote civil war from villain and heroes, and basically the revolution of the people, basically. So it's a very nice redesign, actually, and kind of wish that this was the design from season 1, honestly, because this was a very good design. But unfortunately, this kind of makes sense for the episode for her powers to be something like this. Unfortunately, I kind of lost interest in this, and I don't know why I kept watching this part, but like maybe it's just the costume. I really just like the design for Lila right here, honestly. But yeah, just kind of threatening Marinette that she'll ruin her life socially. Like Chloe hadn't done that before. But you know, everything would be pretty much okay maybe at the end, who knows. We do have some conflict here, and with the battle that everybody basically got hypnotized by Lila's lies. I forgot what the villain's name is for this one, Lila's villain name, because it is different. But all I need to tell you this is that Lila basically took control all the Alliance's rings, because that's where the Kuma is, and then just projects any lies and they become the truth, basically hypnotizing everybody and making them her slaves, basically. Thankfully, Marinette actually freed Lila. No, Marinette freed Alia. I'm sorry, there's Oz in the end of the name. I've been saying Lila for so long, I think I could just say that name right now. Is because it's the most similar one. I don't know why most of these names are very similar to each other. But either way, she freed Alia and basically came up with a plan that she will come out and confront Lila as Marinette, whilst Alia is Galabella. That's the plan. In the background, basically, and this is the most important part, and possibly the ending of this episode is the actually only important part here, is that Lila, while basically putting a front projection that she's actually targeting Marinette, in secret, she hypnotized Natalie, and basically tells Natalie to go and find all of Gabriel Gress's secrets, all Monarch secrets. That includes all the family photos that she used to have, and this photo, I don't know, this looks like Ralph from Transformers Prime, or this could be an actual, or maybe this could be a female character. That literally just looks like Tracer. I really don't know. But yes, Lila here is just going to have photos to blackmail Gabriel / Monarch and have her way, basically. The mastermind is here, and this is the one reason why I like Lila, because she is multiple steps ahead from everybody, not just a typical person, not just a typical antagonist. Unfortunately, how they write her in this episode specifically could use some work. I mean, how they write her before was enough because she was basically secondary, but if they're gonna make her like a primary threat, this is not it. Honestly, they need to make the writing a bit better for her. So now we have the confrontation. Marinette basically tells the truth because she said that she'll give Lila one more chance. Basically. I mean, the speech is longer, but that's basically it. Lila was actually pretty shocked by this. So she does actually accept Marinette's second chance for her. And what happens next is that she actually breaks free from the Mega Akuma all by herself, basically. Which actually shocks Marinette, which is something that she's surprised at. Why did she take this so early? But in her mind, like, she knows that Lila was going to do something like this from the get-go. But Marinette doesn't expect her to be this compliant. She was more resilient before, so it was just surprising to her why she actually, was very compliant this time around. We do have one scene, one frame basically, where, well, a few frames, but like a few seconds of Lila actually still in her crying face, but she's putting up a smirk. Now, we could just interpret this for any which way, but in the context of this episode, I do believe this, that Lila was basically happy that Marinette gave her a second chance. That's my theory. But the reason why she's smiling is that deep down, she knows that she will basically make them all pay, no matter what actually happens, and if she actually does forgive them, even if they actually lend a helping hand to her. Because at this point, the damage is technically kind of done. And, well, she already got the stuff that she needed, or she presumes that she already has from Natalie, basically. This smile is specifically that she got the stuff that she has to blackmail Monarch and have absolute power, and be seen as the true hero. but the reason why she's crying is either two things. One, she's still putting up an act, or two, she's genuinely actually happy from the inside that Marinette actually gave her a second chance. Is it in good faith? Only time can tell, and considering that I've been spoiled for the few episodes or clips, pretty much maybe. Who knows? I will not say it for sure. So in the end, Lila basically was chosen class representative, and then Chloe is still painfully smiling. In the inside, she's in pain. Before the episode ends, Lila checks back on her phone, and she got emails of photos from Gabriel's secret locker. Now she has the stuff to blackmail. I would say this also, the reason why Marinette let Lila win is to prove to everyone that she is not what she seems. It's her own big brain plan. Unfortunately, nobody really, Alia doesn't really believe her, so it is what it is. But yeah, Marinette only let her win because she wants her to, just to prove her word right. And that's it for this episode. Yes, this review is a bit shorter, like maybe 10 minutes shorter at the very least from how I would normally structure it. But I would say this: I really don't like this episode. And while at the very end of this episode, it sets up for the finale because again, all the episodes are already out. They're not all in English, but this is basically a very good setup to basically the finale and the future episodes before the finale. Unfortunately, the conflict basically it just kind of sucks. It was kind of forced in there. The writing for the conflict is a lot to be desired, honestly, for me. I think this is maybe one of the worst written episodes of maybe a very bad Lila episode. The thing is, like for most Lila episodes, they're pretty good, but when Lila is the main focus, I don't know. Lila's been the main focus for a few times already, but I think the only time they got her right was really her first appearance. This one kind of was just very much downhill. Not to mention that how much obliviousness and how much common sense it was just lost for every single background character. Even the teacher. And the teacher actually admits it, which is kind of weird. I really don't know. So, overall, yeah, I really just don't like this episode. I mean, there are some aspects I really do like about, like, well, first, like, the animation is really good in this one. And I do really love Lila's redesign. But, unfortunately, the writing is kind of bad and... well, not bad, it's just below average. The conflicts was forced. Everything in the first few minutes of the episode was really unnecessary. We could have just cut back to basically what actually happened, then have a flashback that could have been structured a bit better. The episode could have been cut much more shorter. I would say like maybe 15 minutes, not like 25. So to cut out 10 minutes, honestly. That's about it. But it is what it is. And to be honest, I mean, maybe the writing could have been much more better. They could have done a bit more, something more smarter. They were smart at the end, and the resolution to the problem was really good. The build-up was the problem. Either way, that's kind of it for the video. Overall, 4 out of 10. That's about it. 4 out of 10. This episode is basically a 4 out of 10. 5 out of 10 if I'm feeling really good today. But most likely or not, you're gonna hear me say this is a 4 out of 10. Not the 1 out of 10 like that baby episode, but 4 out of 10. Mostly it's because of Lila's redesign. I mean, like, to be honest, it is a really good redesign, and I just kind of like Lila having that suit. It's been a while, actually. I don't know. It's just something about that fox suit, honestly. I don't know what I'm saying right now, but it is a 4 out of 10. So yeah, pretty bad. I would just say watch the last part, and that's it. So like the last half of this episode. So like, yeah, until then, I'm Sampo, and I'll see you guys next time for the next video, because by the time I'm recording this, there's already one born up there. So yeah, until then, take care. And after I've done that next review for the episode, I might do the movie. So stay tuned.